So there is a motion on the order paper. It's looking at the future funding of nursing and residential care. Minister of Policy and Reform Chris Thomas will move the report and ask that Tynwald receives it. It sets out various options, possible models of funding care in future. But you're going to put forward an amendment to that.
So the idea is that there's one policy that covers everybody on the Isle of Man for their nursing and residential care. And obviously funds will have to be raised for that policy because it'll be an insurance policy. Now, whether that once the numbers are done, which obviously I don't have the wherewithal or the officers who could do that for me, but government could quite easily. Once it's quantified, they could go out to tender to the insurance companies and say, who will provide this? And then it would be up to government as to how they raised it, whether it was a separate a separate tax to national insurance, or whether it was a penny on employees' national insurance, or a penny on the top rate of taxation, or whatever way they chose and was best economically to raise that money, because we don't have the spare money to do it, then that would cover the premium. And then the insurance company would pay out the claims on that insurance policy. And that would actually be very, very simple then for government to administer. We wouldn't need to employ a whole fleet of people to do all the administration and the checking and everything else. It would be a fairly straightforward way of doing it and would give everybody peace of mind. And I was talking to somebody and they said, well, actually, it's not very fair from an intergenerational point of view, because again, it's providing for the elderly, who some see as having it better than a lot of the squeezed middle and the lower income end. But it is actually helping the intergenerational balance, because if somebody has saved their money and created this pot of assets, and they all go, then their inheritors don't get anything. Whereas at least this way, their assets would be intact, and the children or the grandchildren or whoever they decided was going to inherit their assets that they'd built up over their lifetime, they would be able to. So it would help the future generations as well.
Now, insurance policies premiums can fluctuate. I mean, we know that based on a variety of factors can influence how much premiums cost. I mean, this could be a fairly volatile market to go into in terms of future care for a nation.
Well, again, it would have to be looked at. I don't know if you remember back to the reciprocal health agreement, when there was proposals that be stopped, and people were being advised that they would have to take out private insurance for leaving the island, even just to go to the UK, because that's obviously who we had the reciprocal health agreement with. And we were told that it was something that an insurance company wouldn't be able to do. So government weren't prepared to do it at that time. And actually, it was my husband. He found an insurance company who would do it. And they did it for £1.80 a round trip for anybody travelling off island. But everybody had to do it. So again, it was a global insurance. Everybody had to do it. And it's up to the insurance companies. They're the ones who would actually be taking the risk. They would give us a quote. If it wasn't a sensible quote, then we don't have to take it. It's you go for one of the other options. But at this stage, all I'm asking is for this option to be explored, because I think it should be. It may not be workable. I don't know, and I certainly don't have all the modelling equipment and clever officers to do it at my disposal. But I do think it should be looked at.
You could potentially still end up with a system which is seen to be unfair, though, because there will always be people in society who are not on an income to pay into a fund like that. So others will be paying. If it's a percentage on if it's a penny on income tax, if it's a penny on national insurance, or any sort of percentage figure along the way, you are still going to get people who are paying into a system for other people's care.
But we pay into a system now for other people's education. We pay into a system now for other people's healthcare. Some people don't go to see a GP for 20 years. They still have to pay in. it's what sort of society we want to live in. You will never, ever get anything that works 100% fair for everybody. The thing to do is to try and get it as close as you can. And I'm saying this is one of the options that I believe government should look at. It may not be a sensible option, but I think it should be investigated further.